All right, I think we're going to get started over here with our Caracals. Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Take a Break with Jake. My name is Jake, and you are just seeing one of our two Caracal boys. I'm here with my pal Kelsey, who's behind the phone, and then Robin, our outreach supervisor, is here as well. She's offering the boys some water right now. So we'll come down on their level so we can check them out. These two Caracals were born here at the zoo, and they are now just over 3 months of age. So they weigh about 10 pounds, and they'll grow to be about 4 times this size by the time they're full grown. They get very large. And the Caracals are a really cool species of cat that I want to tell you all about today. But we'll kind of get acquainted with the boys first. So they both look very similar, and it's really hard to tell them apart from just a quick glance. So what I'm going to try to do is look at both of them. Can you come back this direction so I can see you? I have to look at them right next to each other. Yeah. I think this is Samir. I'm seeing his little white dots on his face there. He's a little bit lighter in color. And then I think our boy Zane is back this direction. Does that make sense to you, Robin?
Yep,
that's what
right.
it looks like. I don't work with these cats every single day, so it makes it a little more challenging because as they grow, they change in color, they change in size, and it makes them more difficult to tell them apart. Wow, getting that feather. So the Caracal is a medium-sized cat that lives south of the Sahara Desert over on the continent of Africa, all the way down to South Africa, and then all the way over to India. And they inhabit a variety of habitats, but the main one is scrub regions, and that's a kind of biome that's kind of a mix, or right in between a full desert and a full forest. You won't really find them all the way in the desert or all the way in the forest, but you'll find them somewhere in the middle. And those habitats allow them to find the food that they like to eat, and stay hidden and stay camouflaged. Their kind of sandy or dirt colored fur helps them blend in really well to the scrub regions. The food that they're looking for is often birds, and so that's why they're so intrigued by these feathers that we're offering them. No birds were harmed in the making of these bird toys. These are feathers that our birds naturally molt out here at the zoo. We collect them, disinfect them, and then offer them to the cats as fun toys to play with. This is also teaching them a lot of those predatory behaviors that they need to learn as infants so that as they're growing up, they can be really good hunting machines. Now here at the zoo, we have a breeding pair of Caracals that lives behind the scenes. This is one of their first litters, and unfortunately the mom didn't take great care of them. So our veterinary staff and our carnivore staff had to intercede. The babies had to be pulled for hand rearing. Luckily for us and for them, we had a spot open in our ambassador animal department. And so these two boys are learning to be amazing animal ambassadors for their species. So what that means is as they age, as they continue growing and working alongside us, you'll see us out in the park with them almost every day. We're often out near Festival Field in the afternoon, and then we're often near the entrance right around 10 or 11 in the morning. So those are good spots if you're looking to see baby Caracals. We're not guaranteeing that they'll be out there because they're babies and they do what they want, but a lot of times we'll be out there with them practicing for what they need to do in the future, which is coming out in front of people and presenting species-specific behaviors. What we look for right now out of the boys is just being really calm, being happy and playing in front of our guests, and that's like all that we can ask for at this point. But as they grow up, we're hoping to show off their jumping abilities. So Caracals are really great at hunting birds, along with the other couple of species of cats. They can jump up to about 10 feet into the air to grab birds, and they actually swat at them with their big old paws and claws and bring them down to the ground. So they're really, really efficient hunters, and they can also eat small mammals, lizards, snakes, and even insects. They're really good at using those massive ears to hear for their prey, and once they pinpoint it, then they can pounce on it. You're really doing a number on that feather, huh? We'll see if we can bring it over here a little bit more. Oh gosh. Look how big those paws are, Kelsey.
They're crazy.
And as you might imagine, if you have a cat at home or if you've ever played with kittens, they have extra sharp claws that they use to play with and to climb with and to run around with. And as they age, those claws will just stay very sharp because they use those to dispatch their prey. They need to be very, very sharp so that they can eat what they like to eat and kill it very quickly. What are you doing over there? He's just hanging out, looking at his brother. At this point, Samir and Zane both really like to pounce on each other. And so they take turns stalking one another, especially when we're out on walks. And so you'll definitely want to watch for that if you do get to see them when they're out here at the zoo. Kelsey, do we have any questions so far from our viewers?
Yes. And I think you mentioned this, but Patty's just tuning in. How high can these guys jump?
So caracals can jump about 10 feet into the air. And unlike servals, which are another species of cat that live over in Africa, caracals jump high and then bat their paws around in a very wild and crazy motion.
I'm sorry, replay.
Okay, so they're jumping and then they go at all the different birds. So they're looking for like flocks of birds and they're looking to get down multiple birds in one go if they can. Some stalking action.
I missed it.
Here you go. Here's a feather for you.
We stole my brother's feather.
Right, he did steal his brother's feather. Good for you. Other species of cats will just jump straight up and grab one individual bird. We don't need to steal feathers from each other. We can just play with our own feathers. We noticed, I started offering the boys feathers when I came back on Sunday. I don't know if other people had been playing with them with feathers before that, but we noticed very quickly that they are very defensive of their individual feathers. They treat it as their prey. And so they can only really like snag it from each other if one has kind of stopped paying attention for a short amount of time. But we learned really quickly that it's important to have multiple feathers out with the boys so that they're not fighting too much. In the wild, caracals are pretty solitary, they're pretty secretive and stay alone. So it's important that here at the zoo, we try to keep these brothers together as long as possible, but we still always know that they may decide that they are happier apart. And that's okay, we have plans in place for that if that occurs. What are you doing under there? We're gonna see, oh, hi buddy. Kelsey, I'm gonna see if I can feed this guy up here.
Okay.
Let's see if he'll leave his feather alone for long enough to get some food in him.
Doesn't seem likely.
You dropped it. Are you hungry?
Oh,
gosh.
there we go.
He's hungry. So they just weaned off of their milk last week, and so now they're eating meat. They're eating some exclusive meat. They eat some horse meat, and then as they age, they'll be offered whole prey soon enough. And that'll be anything from like guinea pigs to quail to rats or rabbits, day-old chicks. You almost fell off, buddy. You see those claws in motion, Kelsey. They're good at holding on.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, you and I will worry when they do things like that, but they don't worry at all.
Yeah, they're like, it's fine, I got it.
Oh no, I have my giant claws. That's why I don't like to hold caracals on my lap anymore, because they'll use their giant claws on your legs when they're trying to move quickly. It's less fun. Here you go, buddy. So like I mentioned earlier, these are baby cats. They're only a little over 3 months of age now, so they're only about 10 pounds. By the time they're full grown, they'll be, let's not use our claws. Thank you. They'll be closer to 40 pounds, so 4 times this size. That's a finger that you have. Still a finger. Thank you. He's like, I don't know what that is.
Also, what is this?
Yeah, nice camera. Let's get you back here, buddy. Here you go. Try that. But they'll retain their still nice, like tan brown color through adulthood. That's all the food you get for right now. Because they're grown boys, they're still getting 3 feedings a day, so our team will feed them throughout the day, either in training sessions like this, or just in their house or in their crate so that they can feel really comfortable. Where'd your feather go? Did you drop it? Oh, Robin has your feather. There you go, buddy. Get that feather. Also, because they're young, they always need to be occupied doing something. So they'll either be napping, which is an important part of any cat's life, or they'll be playing with one another, or they'll be pooping. That's their third main activity. Nap, play, poop. It's a pretty good life.
In that order?
Yeah, I would say in that order. They still really love to nap, but then they really like to play, and they also like to poop. So cats are gross. You know the drill.
I think you want to feed that one?
Yeah, do you want to try to switch them out?
Yeah, it's kind of got his feather away.
Oh, hi. Yeah, Chris, they're really hard to tell apart. Jake was saying earlier that Zane is darker.
He's like a smidge darker, and he feels a smidge heavier when you pick him up.
This is Zane that I'm looking at? Okay. And then Samir has a lighter spot on his face.
He wants to look at his brother's feather. Oh,
Bye.
Okay, bye, Zane. If you missed it, probably because my body was blocking it, Zane jumped right over and tried to steal this feather from Samir, and Samir hissed at him.
he's more focused on that,
He's like,
for
no,
sure.
thank you.
And then he's like, oh, right, snacks.
Oh yeah, food is good, for sure. What good Caracal.
Lori, you're so right. Their ears are beautiful. Jake, can we talk about ears?
Yeah, so if you want to focus in on the ears now, Kelsey, you can see that they have a nice tuft here, and they'll only grow as they age. They'll get even bigger and more pronounced. And they use that tuft to communicate to other caracals. They also might use it for camouflage, and they also might use it to defend themselves from predators or confuse potential predators into thinking that there's something there that's not there. The science behind that is like not fully researched, but those are some of the theories out there. Nonetheless, their ears are critically important for their hunting. They can listen for a flock of birds to be about to take off from within the grasses. They can listen for small insects behind a bunch of grasses, all these different ways to listen for their food. Most cats have about 29 muscles in each ear that they use to move their ears around, kind of like a little radar, so they can hear what's going on. Let's not bother your brother right now. Same with the feather.
He's almost done.
Oh,
Mutilated the feather.
sad.
That's why it's no fun anymore. Here, ready? There you go. So I was trying earlier this
There's your
week,
feather.
trying to get them to jump for their feathers, and it's really, really cute. But you have to watch your fingers. It's like a very dangerous activity. But they'll jump about a foot into the air right now after their feathers, which is really cool to see.
Oh, you dropped it, bud. Here. Whoa.
Just have to rinse my meat hands off.
You dropped it again.
Say, Kelsey, why don't you pick that up for me?
It was funner. More fun.
There's one right behind you to the right as well.
Oh, hello, friend.
It helps. We used to have a black collar and a red collar, and so that would help you with like identify
Yeah.
the ones before you put them out. You put one on one on the other, and then you could like very easily tell them apart. Now it's a little harder, so I actually have to look at them.
I
but
think that's Zane.
I believe you're right, and I think Samir is right back here again.
Hey, Samir.
They're both microchipped, so we can tell them apart.
Officially.
Indisputably, if we need to. So just bear with us. Ooh, did you catch that? I wouldn't go near him, Samir. So this is like some aggression that we're seeing, and that's a very normal part of a cat's life, and it's good for us to be able to witness that and kind of observe how both of the cats react. Zane is being very territorial about his toy, and Samir read the room after getting his dad.
Good job.
And was like, I'm gonna go just sit over here and not mess with him. The feathers are not a toy that we leave in with the caracals when they're not supervised. They're really only a toy that we bring out when we're watching them so that we can intercede on either animal's behalf if necessary. Here's Samir. Here's that. He's like going for the carpet too.
Amanda, that's a good question. We were feeding them raw meat earlier. Jake said that eventually they'll get like whole prey.
Yeah, so as they age, we'll be able to start trying them on different kinds of whole prey. So we'll start with baby animals first, like baby mice, because those will have like less hard bones. And so as they can get through that, then we can start upping them to like adult mice, and then we'll go to pieces of rabbit or guinea pig, and then on, so that they're at a point where they're eating whole prey. Typically with our carnivores here at the zoo, and especially within our department, we like them to get whole prey at least 5 days a week as part of their diet, so that they're using their jaws and using their teeth, and the bones in whole prey actually help clean the teeth of the cats pretty well. So it's kind of like cat floss.
Cat floss.
And those sounds that you're hearing as he's hopping around, those are actually his claws going into this little rug here. I think he seems to be enjoying having the extra friction.
Yeah, he's like in the grip.
And he's able to like hop and pounce a lot better too. Any other questions coming in?
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions, Jake.
Let me get to those.
Let's see. Randy asks, do they have their own building? Are they staying in the ambassador building?
Yeah, so they live in our ambassador building. Like all of our ambassador animals, they live behind the scenes and they come out for encounters and tours and shows and stuff like that, outreaches post-pandemic. They did a virtual outreach this morning, actually, too. So all of that stuff is still going on here at their Nashville Zoo.
And word on the street is you might be able to meet them.
Yeah, so we're gearing up here in another week or so to start back with our in-person tours. All of the tours have a lot of safety protocols rolled into them so that you will be safe, our staff will be safe, and most importantly, our animals will be safe. So all of the tours will be held outside in our amphitheater. Only one family group or like group of individuals who know each other can book for a certain tour on a certain time and on a certain day. And the caracals will be featured, I want to say, Thursday? You can check out the website.
It's Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
We've changed our tours back and forth every couple weeks during the pandemic. So we believe that it's Wednesdays now. But all that information will be at nashvillezoo.org
/backstage.
Backstage.
And that'll be up on Thursday.
Hi, it's me. I'm just going to come in and intercede real quick. There you go, buddy.
Okay, let's see.
It'd be okay, Samir. Samir's like, I don't have to hold him. You see him almost fall. That was funny. His back end just fell off the bin here, but he was able to hold on with his front claws.
Shout out to the carpet.
Yeah. Zane, why do you have to take it towards him? Okay, good. That's the clutch.
They're not very graceful.
Let's see. Scarlett asked, do you anticipate them being in shows next year?
Oh, that's a great question. Time will tell.
We'll see.
You never know. We try to let the animals dictate what they want to do. As they age, they're getting more and more comfortable being out in front of people. So soon enough here, we're going to start taking them separately to things so that we can see, like, oh, does this one like this more, and make sure that they're good working alone together, or alone as well as together, so that we have more flexibility.
Yep.
Very jealous.
He's so jealous. I don't know what to
Poor
give
guy.
you, Samir.
Well, his remnant of a feather is right here.
He doesn't want that anymore.
Is this not good enough for you?
It's not fun anymore, Kelsey.
It's slightly
There
fun.
you go. Thank you.
He gave me a sympathy.
That's cute. Yeah, sympathy
Bat.
play, yeah.
It's better than nothing.
Let's see. Okay, so Carrie asks, are caracals an endangered species?
Caracals are not considered endangered. In parts of their range, there are less than in other parts of their range, so they might be locally threatened in some populations. But by and large, the population is pretty good.
Chris, yes, we do have other caracals. We have 2 adult pairs that live behind the scenes at the zoo right now. And they're pretty new for us. They got here earlier this year, I think. I don't really remember what time is like, Jake.
Right. Doesn't matter anymore.
I don't know.
Every day is Friday.
Patty asks, do adult females usually have 2 kittens at birth?
They can have between 1 and 4. Typically, with most cats, one baby is like not going to have a really great chance of survival because they need another young one with them so that they can learn things and grow up together. So in a lot of cat species, the mom will just kind of leave the single baby. But 2 is a very good number for caracals. I think 2 and 3 are the most common numbers. You're not at risk of attack, Kelsey.
Okay, thank you. You know how it goes.
Here too. She will intercede on your behalf if a caracal decides to start stalking you.
It wouldn't be the first time that happened during one of these lives.
Did you hide it under here?
Ooh.
Oh, that's my flesh. Thank you. Here, okay, here you go. It's there.
Come get it.
Hello? Oh my gosh, Samir's coming over. Okay, Samir
That's a
has
fair
to wait.
steal. Like,
Samir has to wait.
Has
Zane?
been waiting for that.
Yeah, he waited his turn.
good job, Samir.
You see him under my leg.
Yeah. Let's see. Lori, thank you so much for supporting the zoo. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, Lori. Oh, who did that? Okay,
Oh,
Zane, coming over for the sneak attack. Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Hi. Will you sit with me for a little bit? And you can show people how cute you are. Look how cute
It's
Kelsey.
like it's a privacy.
Right. Hi, cat. So they are pretty affectionate at this point, but they certainly have their people that they really like and then their people that they tolerate.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely one that they tolerate at this point, but they really like Robin. Lots more hissing.
Well, Robin's been with them since they were basically born. Yeah. And you were saying earlier that they're going to be about 40 pounds.
About 40 pounds, yeah. The females will be a little smaller, typically.
We don't need to focus on that.
But they are still dangerous as adults, right, Jake?
Yeah, for sure. Wild animals, as a general rule, don't make good pets. For one, like they don't need to be in a house because they're wild animals. Here at the zoo, they have a really large enclosure with indoor and outdoor access year-round. They have the proper diet and nutrition that they need. They get proper vet care from licensed exotic animal veterinarians. And then they have staff like Robin and I who are trained and educated in taking care of wild animals. And that's a really important distinction between keeping an animal as a pet and keeping an animal at a zoo. Their role here at the zoo is to help teach people about caracals and other exotic cats and help people learn more about them. That's my hand. Thank you.
Did you lose your toy?
Are you so upset? Samir waited so patiently, Zane, and you're pouting. Obviously, we need to invest in collecting more feathers.
Clearly, we need more feathers.
I think we like hyacinths.
Yeah, good hyacinth feather.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
I'm like moving the camera around so much that I can't keep up with the comments, so I'm really sorry if I've missed someone's questions. Good job.
Thank you.
Jake, I can't remember if we've covered this. Kathleen.
I cracked myself up. Yes.
You crack me up, and that's not good for this. Kathleen asked, how long do these guys live?
Caracals can live somewhere between 15 and 20 years. Some will live a little shorter of a lifespan, especially wild animals. Typically live a shorter lifespan than animals in human care because in the wild they have to worry about predation from leopards and hyenas. They have to worry about finding food. They have to worry about habitat loss and human intervention. So there are a lot of things that they have to watch out for in the wild that they don't have to worry about here in human care. He's back here somewhere behind me.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're scrolling through questions.
JC says they're practicing their hunting skills, and you're totally right, JC. They definitely are. And as a follow-up for that, Deborah asks, how do you help them with keeping their natural and wild behaviors?
So we don't stop them from pouncing on things. Certainly the feathers help them, use their instincts in pouncing and grabbing and slashing with their big old claws. We don't declaw any animals here at the zoo because that's inhumane. That's also a really important thing for them to have throughout their lives so that they can hunt things and play with things and stuff like that. And we feed them a natural diet. Like I was mentioning earlier, they're going to get full prey as they age, and so they'll be tearing into carcasses, which is really good for cats. Oh gosh.
Emily, yes, they definitely take a lot of naps just like your domestic cats would, and other big cats. Yeah, you're totally right.
And me.
And also Jake.
Can I have that?
Travis asks, are they caracals particularly territorial? And if so, how large is their territory in the wild?
They are. It actually depends on the individual. The males typically have a larger territory because they're trying to find multiple females to breed with every year. But their territory range can change based on all the other things happening. They're living in areas where there could be elephants, there could be giraffes, there could be a ton of other hoof stock, there could be other predators like servals and cheetah and leopards and lions. So they have a lot of different things to watch out for. And being kind of a medium-sized cat, they're not the tiniest thing out there, but they're certainly not the largest. They have a lot to worry about. This is so precarious. My fingers are
I'm
in
really
danger.
scared for you.
Yeah,
But it's so cute.
I know. And then it's like collateral damage if they get a finger.
Mm-hmm.
Bop, 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 bop.
Jake, I think this is the first time you and I have done a live with Caracals, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't asked you yet what your favorite thing is about Caracals.
I think this is the first pair of Caracals I worked with in a long time, and I think what I love most about them is that they aren't arboreal, so they spend their entire lives on the ground, and they'll like jump up onto platforms and onto short logs here at the zoo, but they're not arboreal. When we interact with our clouded leopard cubs here at the zoo, of which we have many, those are like sky ninjas, and they climb everything around them, including humans. And they are very, very fun for that reason, but it makes it a little harder to train them and to kind of help them become really good animal ambassadors. With Caracals, you really don't have to worry about them jumping on you, which is just a delight.
It's a delight as a film person as well, because do you remember when we were filming Clouded Leopard Cubs the last time, and one literally was clawing into my back while I was filming?
They do that. Yeah, it's cute, but it's not fun.
No. But yeah, I think that's why earlier when Samir was behind me, I was like, oh, here it goes.
Yeah. No, they don't really do that, which is nice. I think Caracals are also super cool because most people haven't heard of them. So we're in a really unique position here at the National Zoo. Since these two are ambassador animals, we're getting the opportunity to have them out in front of hundreds of people every day. The Caracals don't know that they're doing great work. They're just playing or eating or sitting. But we're able to educate hundreds of people every day on what Caracals are and why people should care about them. And that's really our mission as a zoo, and especially as our as the ambassador animal team. We're really out there trying to make connections with people and wildlife.
Absolutely. I think, wow,
Bye.
I just lost my entire train of thought when he ran by me.
Look at him back there, just biding his tongue. Just a little pouty pants.
It's okay, Zane.
It'll be okay.
Your feather may be dead by the time you get back to it, but...
We'll have to get new feathers for their afternoon walk, Robin.
Yeah, we will.
We'll re-provision you.
The same kind of feather.
Yeah, that macaw feather, yeah.
Whatever it is, it needs to be the same.
The same for each of them. Oh gosh, Zane, why? Oh yeah, come over here. Good timing.
Yeah, that was fair. Good job.
Take it, Zane. Now's the time.
Good.
Seize the throne. Zane, what are you doing? He's so loud.
Focus!
Zane, please take the toy. Oh, it looks like he might have seen one of our clouded leopards outside. He's like, what is that? Okay, don't care anymore. I don't know where
Back to the
Samir
feather.
went.
He's over here looking at your palm.
Samir, don't you dare get in that plant.
Oh, yeah, he's eating it.
Update. He got it.
This plant?
We try to keep these nice plants in here, and the cats are the worst at it. They try to get up in the plant, they're trying to chew on it, trying to play in it. Thank
He's
you,
being
Ryan,
cute for
listening
Robin.
to the plant.
She is being cute.
Lynn's just tuning in, I think, and she asked, what purpose do the tufts serve?
I talked about it a little bit earlier, but their tufts have a couple different purposes that scientists think are, the real deal. They might use them for camouflage, they might use them to communicate with one another, and they also might use them to confuse potential predators into thinking that there's another bigger animal looking back at them. He was like, is this a feather too?
I didn't see that coming.
Oh, I saw it coming, 100%. Okay, we're biting me now.
I haven't seen them go for hair yet.
I haven't either.
I
That's
didn't
funny.
see that coming.
What are you
Hey.
doing?
No rude. Don't be rude.
But it's so fun. Oh my
Oh.
gosh. We don't need to eat that. So even though they're still really tiny, they're only about 10 pounds now, they can still do a lot of damage. They have really sharp teeth, they have really sharp claws. They're hissing at each other again. I don't know what happened. Robin's watching, just to clarify to
He's
everyone.
protecting the feather. Oh yeah, he's angry. His ears are
We'll
going
just
up.
stop real quick there, Kelsey. We'll just let Robin deal with her children. So they can do a lot of damage at this age, so we're really cautious that we always have two people when we're working with them so that we can be watching their behavior and interceding if they get rowdy with one another.
Come here,
Come here, Samir. Oh, cute. If you come bite this hair again,
Don't do it.
Oh.
he's doing an update. He wants the hair.
What is up with you?
He's like
He's like, I don't have the feather.
on a feather rampage.
Samir!
What? Why? I was just saying you're a great cat.
It's true.
Let's distract
They
him.
are really good boys, but they have done. They do.
He likes your hair.
Yankee likes my hair. I have this thing with our cloud leopards here at the zoo where they like to like groom my arms and my legs. So like lick, 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 lick. The caracals have not done that yet. They have not shown any interest in me whatsoever. But that is not interest that I want. It's like
It's
licking
true.
your head. Not fun. We'll probably wrap up here in just a little bit. These still are babies, so we need to make sure they get a nap, they get to poop, and they get to hang out for a little bit because they're going out for a walk today at 2 o'clock. So if you are coming to the zoo later today, that we can pretty much guarantee that the caracals will be out near Festival Field right at 2 o'clock today. So make sure you look for them if you happen to be here or if you're coming later today. If you want to see them, you can check out our virtual or our in-person tours that are actually starting September 1st. So check out the website for all that information. It should be going live
Thursday.
So that's, once again, nashvillezoo.org/backstage.
Yep.
That's where you can find all the cool Backstage Pass tour info coming up here this fall. As always, thanks so much for joining us, everyone, for Take a Break with Jade. If you do have further questions that we haven't answered in this video, make sure you restart the video once it's posted. We may have actually answered it. Otherwise, Kelsey and I will try to get you those answers today so that you can have all of your questions and thoughts answered. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, and have a great day. Oh.